This video has been brought to you by NordVPN. Have you ever used public networks and felt totally unprotected? Data breaches and malware infections could be just one click away from making you lose important data. With NordVPN, you can finally put your mind at ease and feel safe using public Wi-Fi. NordVPN has recently evolved into something much better with its new feature, threat protection. Not only does it encrypt your internet traffic and protects your identity, it also blocks trackers, malicious and intrusive ads, harmful websites, and protects you from malware. You can customize this protection level by just toggling these options. Browsing with NordVPN Threat Protection provides you safe access from everywhere. Don't miss out on your favorite content, even while traveling. It's simply one of the best VPN service providers that helps you and your data stay protected without falling behind in speed and responsiveness. So what are you waiting for? Go to nordvpn.com/simplehistory or click the link in the description to get an exclusive discount on the 2-year plan, plus a 30-day money-back guarantee to try NordVPN risk-free today. U.S. Army Chemical Corps. The Seaburn Defense. The Chemical Corps is a special branch of the United States Army, which is responsible for preventing and combating any attack on the United States, which includes chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear weapons, including any weapons of mass destruction. On top of their primary role, the CBRN units specialize in training other military personnel in basic knowledge and awareness surrounding and dealing with any associated threats. The unit is commonly referred to as CBRN as an abbreviation. The origins of the Corps date back to World War I. It was the first conflict that saw extensive use of chemical weapons, and the use of poison gas became a common tactic used by both sides in trying to overcome the stalemate created by trench warfare. When the U.S. entered the war in late 1917, they found that they had to quickly react to the enemy's vast experience in chemical warfare. So on June 28, 1918, they formed the Chemical Warfare Service. In 1920, Congress made it a branch of the Army. The Dragon Soldiers, as they were called at the time, adopted their branch insignia, a purple benzene ring over 2 crossed gold retorts. The insignia still stands as the symbol of the Corps today. At the end of World War I, the Chemical Warfare Service continued working on the development of offensive and defensive capabilities for aspects of chemical warfare, despite mounting public disapproval of such weapons. The United States was among the few countries that refused to ratify the 1925 Geneva Convention ruling, which aimed to limit the use of chemical weapons. Unlike World War I, the use of chemical weapons in World War II was on a far smaller scale. All major powers involved had developed and stockpiled large quantities of chemical and biological weapons, yet refrained from instigating their use due to the fear of retaliation from the opposing side. The constant threat of Germany and Japan using their chemical weapons forced the United States Army to significantly increase their investment into the Chemical Warfare Service. Several installations were built to produce and develop weapons and to train personnel for chemical warfare-related operations. More than 400 CWS companies were formed during the war, numbering more than 60,000 military personnel. They played a key role in equipping and training regular Army units to recognize the symptoms of chemical weapon use. Dragon Soldiers also provided combat support with M2 4.2-inch mortars known as the 4 Deuce, or chemical mortars, which were capable of launching white phosphorus-based smoke shells, TNT high-explosive shells, and HD sulfur mustard gas shells over a distance of 4,400 yards, or 2.5 miles. After the war, the Chemical Warfare Service was reduced in size, but it still continued with its mission. In 1946, the service was officially redesignated the Chemical Corps. During the Vietnam War between 1955 and 1975, it developed a variety of weapons designed primarily to disrupt the enemy's concealment capabilities. They began to develop weapons such as napalm, an incendiary mixture which has a devastating effect on its target. However, the most notorious chemical weapon was Agent Orange, a herbicide used to destroy large areas of dense forest used to provide cover to the Viet Cong fighters. Controversy surrounding the health problems caused by Agent Orange turned the public against the use of chemical weapons and against the Chemical Corps, which was again under threat of disbandment. The Corps fell into difficult times until the 1980s and the rise of chemical and biological warfare capabilities of certain Middle Eastern countries has posed a threat to American interests in the region. By the beginning of the Gulf War in 1990 to 91, the Army had established 28 active-duty chemical defense companies, with each regular Army unit having at least one CBRN specialist in its ranks. By the beginning of the 21st century, the threat of attacks has only increased, with the capability of chemical and biological warfare passing from regular Army and government control to individual terrorist groups. This rising concern has led to an increase in the development levels of U.S. military installations and facilities against chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear hazards. Candidates who wish to become members of the Chemical Corps must first pass through the United States Army CBRN School. The school is located in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, home to the Chemical Corps. Over the course of the training, future CBRN specialists will be trained to detect and deal with situations caused by chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear weapons, that is, weapons of mass destruction. While some courses are intended for the development of individual skills, equally important are those which develop teamwork. CBRN defense requires complex organizational skills and operations to go ahead with a minimal margin for error. To become an Army CBRN specialist, candidates join the MOS 74D, which stands for Military Occupational Specialty 74 Delta course. The regimental crest is blue and gold and is taken from the 1st Chemical Regiment's coat of arms and shows a dragon along with a war-torn tree trunk, which was all they could use for sighting and weapons during World War I. The Latin phrase at the bottom of the crest translates into "We rule the battle through the elements." Part of the Army basic training involves squads lined up wearing respirators and entering a gas chamber building, where they're subjected to CS gas being released. After familiarizing themselves with the impaired coordination effects of wearing the mask, they are then ordered to remove them and then exit the fume-filled room in an orderly manner. Once outside in the fresh air, there's a lot of coughing, choking, and spitting, as well as trying to wipe the tears away from their watering eyes. The experience will stay with them for the rest of their military careers, but they will be able to react and put on their respirators in seconds when they have to. After finishing the initial training, the CBRN specialists are taught various skills to enhance their responses, such as awareness, detection, decontamination, protection, first aid, and command and control. Another part of their course is where candidates are exposed to toxic agents while wearing their protective suits. The job of a CBRN specialist not only requires great theoretical knowledge, but also a lot of practical skills, especially the ability to work under pressure for prolonged periods. Once the training is over and the candidates join the ranks of the Dragon Soldiers, they're deployed to various units throughout the Army. The duties for a CBRN specialist involve not only handling related threats, but also to provide training and supervision regarding the proper use of CBRN equipment among their fellow soldiers, whatever their rank might be. In the field, specialists use a variety of technical devices for detection and handling of threats. The most important aspect of their role, however, is their personal protective equipment, or PPE. Protection suits are designed primarily to protect against injuries that may occur when handling any hazardous material in any situation. Protection is not only paramount for the body, but also for the respiratory system, eyesight, and hearing. There are different PPE sets in use depending on requirements. In cases where the highest degree of protection is needed, a Level A set is used. It consists of a fully encapsulating chemical protective suit, a protective hood, an inner and outer set of chemical-resistant gloves, chemical-resistant boots, and a positive pressure self-contained breathing apparatus. The protective suit is made of a chemical-resistant material and provides protection to the CBRN agents against liquids, vapors, and aerosols. It's designed to be air-permeable, lightweight, and ergonomic in order to provide comfort to the specialist inside. The same material is used for the hood, to which a mask is attached, which may either be a breathing filter with active carbon or the self-contained breathing apparatus. The primary role of the PPE is to protect the specialists in the field, and even though it's designed to provide as much comfort as possible, it does have some limitations. While wearing the suit, movement is restricted due to the heavyweight nature of the PPE. The same applies for both vision and communication due to the face protection. Since the suit is fully encapsulating, specialists are exposed to psychological stress due to the confinement, heat stress, and dehydration. It's estimated that the Level A PPE cannot be worn continuously for more than 30 minutes. Considering the conditions involved when working directly with highly toxic and other lethal agents, and in operations where weapons of mass destruction are a real threat, the job of the CBRN specialist comes in as one of the most challenging occupations in the United States Army.